Chairman, I'd like to begin by going back to the topic from my colleague from Wyoming. The U.S. Geological Survey, I'm sure you're aware, has the manatee on the endangered list, and they rely on power plants as a source of warm water during the wintertime. And you had mentioned a moment ago that, to your knowledge, the EPA never contacted the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service or National Marine Fisheries Service. Is that correct?
No, sir, that's not what I indicated. I said that I have not personally had those conversations.
So who has had those conversations?
Well, the obligation of the development of the rule and addressing those issues falls to, I guess, our Assistant Administrator at the Office of Air and Radiation would be the next one to look at this issue.
You guess, so you don't know who is responsible.
You know, I don't run the day-to-day work of the rule. As you know, we received lots of comments on this rule. This is certainly on the radar screen, and I am confident that we will put out the rule in a way that addresses this.
Well, it needs to be on the radar screen. This is the law.
Absolutely.
The law
Yes.
requires you to
Yes.
contact them, and you don't have any idea if they were contacted or not.
I just said I did not participate in conversations myself. That's all I'm in.
And you're also indicating that you don't know if anyone else did either, because you're saying you guess it might have been one department or another. So you don't know.
All I know is that my staff and I are well aware that we have an obligation to meet the rules under the Endangered Species Act, and we will do that.
Okay, but you don't know if those agencies were contacted.
I honestly don't recall whether I've had that direct conversation. I may have, but it's
I'm not talking
something
about you. I'm
recalling.
talking about the EPA in general. Did the EPA abide by the law?
The EPA has to abide by the law in the
Did the
final rule, and
EPA
we
abide
will.
by the law and consult with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service or National Marine Fisheries?
I'm happy to get back to you, as I indicated.
So you don't know is the answer.
There are many comments that we receive that I do not follow directly up on, but I'm
So are you saying
happy to
yes
follow
or
up
no,
on
or
this.
you don't know?
I don't know.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get to. All right, so you don't know if the law was upheld or not.
I know that the law has to be upheld, and I know that happens when we issue the final rule, which has not happened yet.
All right, well, do you realize that the EPA's proposed rule ultimately is going to shut down a number of coal-generated power plants?
I remember in the regulatory impact analysis, there was an estimate of potential closings as a result of decisions the states might make as a result of
There
our
have been
rule.
a number of those. One of them is in my own district.
Okay.
Plant Branch was closed down because of EPA regulations and so forth. And this is
What plant did you say, sir? I'm sorry.
Plant Branch in Milledgeville, Georgia, shut down because of the EPA regulations, and hundreds of jobs have been lost because of that. And the manatee, of course, not in my district, but relies in other areas on the warm water generated here. And it just sounds to me, again, that the EPA is not abiding by the law. What would happen if a business decided that they were just not going to abide by regulations from the EPA? Would you ignore that?
Not if it was called to my attention, and certainly EPA won't ignore the law either.
Well, EPA has been ignoring the law, and it's not. Do you believe that all coal plants should be shut down?
I don't, it's not, there's no belief system I have about coal at all, sir.
You don't have a belief
All I do is
system?
enforce the law.
Do you believe that coal generates power?
Yes, that's a factual issue.
It is a factual issue. Do you believe that they should be shut down because they're coal generated?
I think they offer tremendous value to
That was
our
not my
energy
question.
system.
I know they offer
No, I don't
value
have
because
any
they
belief
offer
as to
energy.
whether they should be shut down or not shut down. I don't, that's not a belief system for me, sir. I appreciate the value that coal brings to our energy supply system and how
You're
valuable
having a
it is.
difficult time understanding my question. I'm asking, do you believe that coal plants should be shut down?
I have no such belief that they should be shut down. I
Okay.
have no belief.
Are you aware that EPA policies and regulations are skyrocketing the ability for coal-generated power plants to exist?
I believe there are two things happening. One is there is a transition in the energy world, and coal is becoming less competitive because of inexpensive natural gas, and I believe that we are putting rules out.
Coal is
that
becoming
are
expensive
related to
because of
pollution
the
from those sources.
upgrades that are required by plants to uphold the regulations put upon them by the EPA.
There are,
My time has expired. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.